Hi, my beautiful and handsome bakers. Welcome to another episode of Sugar Vixen Baking Channel. Today, I'm gonna be cooking up a delicious but kind of healthy recipe today, and I'm sure you guys are gonna love it. These are paleo brownies. Okay, so today for this recipe, we're gonna be using some dark chocolate. I'm using 60% cacao. Now, you know, we can use up to 80%. I would say if you can find 80%, go ahead and use it. But I can only find 60% of where I went to the grocery store. So 60% is fine. You're just gonna have to adjust the coconut sugar, which I used 3/4 cup, but you can go up to 1 1/4 cup of coconut sugar if you're using a higher percentage of the cacao. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. We're gonna use 3 medium eggs at room temperature, 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and I have this out, it's softened at room temperature, 1 cup of almond flour, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, about 1.5 to 1 cups of dark chocolate chunks and chips. So I'm using 72% cacao dark chocolate Ghirardellis. And I have this as optional walnuts. I love walnuts in my brownies. Couldn't leave these out, so these are optional. You don't have to do walnuts. And then we're just gonna use a dash of salt today. Okay, for this recipe, we're gonna go ahead and start off by preheating our oven to 355 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I have a bowl of boiling hot water. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get a heat-proof bowl. It's gonna go over the boiling pot of hot water, and we're gonna have our cacao, the bar. We're gonna put it in there along with our coconut oil to melt it up. So that's gonna be the first step besides preheating our oven. Okay, so I went ahead and I brought the water down to a simmer. Okay, so it's gonna melt real nicely over that simmering water, and I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a stir. Okay, and I'm gonna actually turn off the burner completely because I think the water's hot enough just to, you know, melt it up. Whisk our eggs and our coconut sugar. So we have our 3 eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and crack into our bowl. And we are going to beat this for a good 5 to 7 minutes, okay? We want it light, fluffy, and maybe 3 times its volume. So it's gonna be, you know, kind of like a palish color egg white mixture. So you just have to be patient. So now I took the chocolate off the stove, the mixture, the chocolate and the coconut oil mixture, and I'm gonna gently drizzle it into our egg and coconut oil while I beat it at a low speed. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, just a little bit at a time. I have my food processor here, and so I'm gonna put the almond flour, and you don't have to do this. I just take this extra step because sometimes to me the almond flour can be a little grainy. Just in other recipes that I've used, And so I like to process it together to make it a little more powdery and sift it. It's not necessary. And I'm gonna put in our little dash of salt in here, and I'm just gonna process it together just for a little bit so it can get sifted. Okay. So now I'm gonna gradually add it to our mixture, and we're gonna fold it in. So I'm not gonna just put it all in at once. I'm gonna gradually add it and then fold it in. Okay, and fold just means that you're folding the mixture over. You're not vigorously stirring it. You're just blanketing what's already in there over the dry ingredients. Okay, now we're finished incorporating the cocoa powder along with the almond flour. I'm going to incorporate most of these chocolate chips, and I'm gonna leave some for the top of the batter, and I'm gonna use a little bit of our chopped walnuts because I can't forget those. So I'm not gonna overwhelm this with walnuts, but I'll just put maybe just about a half a cup, and then I'm gonna sprinkle some onto the top as well. Okay, and then we're gonna take some of these, the rest of our chips here, we're gonna sprinkle them over the top, kind of spread them out so they're not all bunched into one. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take a few walnuts and sprinkle them over the top. We don't want to do too much over here because we already have a lot in our batter. All right. Okay, now let's go ahead and put this in the oven. So I set my timer for 18 minutes. You can bake these anywhere from 18 to 20 minutes. I usually like to bake my desserts on the lighter side. I don't like my desserts overcooked, so I'm gonna bake it for about 18 minutes, and then we'll see what the final product looks like.